Hello everyone, and welcome to another puzzle challenge video from chessuniversity.com. My name is Ryan Murphy, and I'm presenting today a puzzle for white to play and win. This is early in the week, so it's one of our easier puzzles, and the game comes to us from a chess.com blitz game played between the players Shi and Zhang. The white player didn't have a rating posted, but the black player was rated 1500 or so on the website. And as usual, if you want to get credit for solving this towards reward points on your account, you can visit the link in the description, which will take you to chessuniversity.com. And if you post your answer there before we put up the solution post, you can get credit towards your account. And that credit you can use for future purchases on the website. So hopefully you guys will check that one out. And as I usually do, I'm going to go back to the beginning of this game and show how we reached the present position. So this game began e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop to b5. This is the Spanish or Ruy Lopez opening. Black played a6, bishop to a4, knight f6, attacking the pawn on e4. And white employed a somewhat rare move with queen e2 here, protecting the pawn with the queen. Also in the future, if/when white ever goes for this d4 break idea, the queen will be putting pressure against e5. So, yeah, an unusual move, but an interesting one. So b5 played, bishop b3, g6, pawn to c3. g6 is a little bit on the slow side from black. Usually the bishop's going to go either to e7 or to c5, but it's playable. c3 from white. I'm very curious about the move knight to g5, attacking this pawn on f7, because if d5, which tries to block the diagonal, otherwise it's difficult to defend this pawn satisfactorily. Then ed5 would happen, attacking the knight. If the knight moves, then simply e5 is falling with check, and that's no good. And the alternative would be knight takes d5, or at least the clear alternative. And then after knight takes f7, which is a standard sacrifice, at minimum. There's probably other things that are interesting for white as well. You have this continued attack. Now the king has to go here if black wants to hold on to the knight. And after king e6, knight c3, this sort of thing is very dangerous for black. There's lots of pressure on the knight, and though there are ways to defend it, knight can go here or here, for example, it's still very unpleasant to play black in this position. So that was an interesting opportunity. Instead, both sides just developed normally. Rook e8, h3, preventing any future pins on g4. d5 was played. Castles, knight a5, and bishop c2. It's important for white's long-term prospects in these types of positions to maintain this bishop. You don't want to get it traded for the knight. Bishop to b7 played, and now rook e1, and knight's back to c6, which kind of strikes me as an odd move. Generally, black's trying to get more space by pushing the c-pawn and then only bringing the knight back, because now after knight c6, the pawn's obviously blocked. And there was no immediate threat to the e5 pawn that I see. Well, maybe there was. Maybe they were worried about takes and then discoveries, but it feels kind of difficult for white to get away with that. D takes e4 also makes a good deal of sense to me, because now, after pawn takes, for example, this bishop's going to be shut in. Queen has more influence. This is at least interesting. Maybe black will then try to go pawn to c4, and then bring the knight back into the game. Anyway, knight c6 played, knight f1, b4, bishop d2, takes, and knight h5, looking for knight f4 ideas. White prevents this with g3, queen to d7, attacking h3, king g2, protecting the pawn, bishop c8, really insisting on taking on h3, and knight g1, kind of curling into a ball but holding all the pawns in front of the king. Now black plays de4, and knight d4, and it looks like black's actually very active here. White's knight's being very, very passively, defensively posted to secure the king. This knight on d4 is obviously not something that white wants to tolerate, so they take it. And then after takes, rook a d1, c5 was played to protect this pawn. It was already defended, but it's extra support, kind of making this small chain here. And now after queen c4, queen c6 is actually the major mistake that allows us to see the tactic that we started with. So here it's white to play and win material. Although it's understandable why black would move their queen if they wanted to develop the bishop, for example, to the e6 square, which was probably their intention. Also, queen c6 has the upside of protecting the pawn. So it's sort of an understandable move, but still a mistake. And hopefully you guys can see why it's a mistake. So hopefully you guys will check out the official post on chessuniversity.com, and I'll see all you guys tomorrow for the next video. Thanks for watching.